Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Connect University. We hope that you had a great new year and are looking forward to another amazing year of learning here with HandsOn Connect Cloud Solutions. I have the privilege of being part of an amazing team of individuals. As you see here, we have Domingo, Alfredo, Larry, Jenny, Melissa, Esteban, Livy, and the newest member of our team is not yet included in the photo is Luis, and myself, Art Ordoki. And we're really excited to be bringing you a number of series and sessions to continue to improve your use of HandsOn Connect and Salesforce. As I said, my name is Art Ordoki, and my role here is to help make sure that you are successful in your use of the HandsOn Connect application and that our team is able to do what it can to help you support your mission. If you need to reach me, you can contact me at the information on the screen. Today, I'm honored to bring you the information on Salesforce campaigns. Campaigns are sometimes an unknown secret in the Salesforce community, especially around nonprofits. But they are a very powerful tool for helping you both in managing your donations as well as your email and other marketing efforts. So to get started, we want to first focus on a little bit of housekeeping around campaigns. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that while individuals in your instance may be able to view campaigns based on their profiles and settings, in order for you to be able to manage and create the campaigns, you do need to have the marketing user enabled within your specific user record. And you do that through the setup, and I'll show you that real quickly when we're done. One of the other things that I discovered as in preparing for this webinar is that many of the hierarchy or roll-up type fields that are part of the campaigns are not visible to users. And so you do want to make sure that the visibility of those fields are enabled so that they can see and benefit from the information available in the campaigns. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping. Before you get too far into your own efforts at campaigns, you want to make sure that you've completed these two items so that you can be successful from the start. So campaigns, as I mentioned, are tools that can be used to help you with your marketing or your donation efforts at a nonprofit. Essentially, campaigns, if you want to think about these, are records in Salesforce that help you kind of take out and segment your contacts within your organization to be able to target them for certain volunteer recruitment efforts or donation funding campaigns or invitations to specific events and such. They have a basic structure of just the name, whether it's active, what type of campaign, and you can customize this pick list. So from fundraisers to emails to volunteer events and such. Helps you update the status. Is this something that's currently in progress? Is this something that you're planning for later this year? Or is this a campaign that's already ended, but you're keeping it in there for reference to see how it's doing? One of the important fields is the parent campaign field. Again, you want to make sure that your user, you have access to this in your page layout. And because what Parent Campaign allows you to do is it allows you to set up a hierarchy between your campaigns. On the right-hand side of the screen, you see that I've set up my campaign hierarchy for 2017. So you can see I have my main campaign for 2017, and then I have two large campaigns. One is for days of service in 2017, and the other is for donations in 2017. And underneath that, I can see my different campaigns and sub-campaigns efforts around there. You can see that I have some of these are email type campaigns, some of these are fundraiser types, some are in progress, and some are planned for 2017. Another field is the description field. A good rule of thumb is that any good Salesforce administrator always enters a description. Even if the name of the campaign and the parent make it extremely obvious, you still want to write out the description, because somebody may come in a month or so from now and wonder, what was this campaign used for? Was this, even though it says it's an email campaign associated with the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, you may want to add some additional narratives around, what's the target, what's the intent of this campaign, or who the members of the campaign are. The bottom fields here, and we'll go into more details as when I show you creating a new campaign, are to help you kind of plan. The start and end date are important if your campaigns really do have a defined period that they are engaged in. The next thing is that the campaign talks about the structure, very similar to HandsOn Connect, where the volunteer opportunities and the occurrences talk about the structure and the dates and times that the opportunities related. A campaign behaves in that same manner. And so then the campaign members are the contacts that are associated with that campaign. These could be individuals that you are reaching out to, or depending on how you set up your campaigns, it could be something that someone has subscribed to. It could be an email distribution list for that your volunteers or contacts have expressed interest in joining. And you can use those campaigns to associate those volunteers. So there are several ways to add campaign members to a campaign. This can be done through the campaign's object itself. There's a way within the campaigns to manage members. As you can see here, there's ways to add members, and you can do this by searching through your contacts based on certain criteria and filters that are available. You can run reports, and if you're running a report that's based off the contact object, there's going to be a special button called Add to Campaign. One of the other really unique options is within HandsOn Connect itself. Within any occurrence within HandsOn Connect, if you've enabled this feature, there is an Add to Campaign button, which again allows you to add specific volunteers that have participated in certain events to a campaign that you may want to reach out to them at a later time. So that is a brief overview of what a campaign is and how the structure is defined. So now I'm going to jump out of the presentation and actually show you how these features operate. So the first thing I said was we wanted to go to Setup and make sure that your user has the permission. So from the Setup menu, you click on Users. You find the user you want to grant access to. So in this case, I'm going to check and see if Larry has access. I can see that Larry is not a marketing user, and so I can edit his record, and by checking that box and hitting save, Larry would now have access to not only view the campaigns, but also the ability to create and manage campaigns, add campaign members, create that hierarchy and such. So remember, this is distinction is between the ability to view campaigns that can be managed through the profiles, but the ability to actually create and edit your campaigns, the user that's doing so must have the marketing user permission within their user record. So you may not need to make this available to everyone in your staff. The next thing that I discovered was the campaign field itself. So again, still in the setup, I'm going to go look at the campaigns and click on fields. I could see that there's a number of fields that end in hierarchy, and these are the fields that are in question. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the fields that end in hierarchy are visible. So if I clicked on the field, so total context in hierarchy, and I click on set field level security, I want to make sure that they are visible. Again, you can control this for the different profiles. So maybe some of your users, it's not appropriate for them to be able to even see this information. And for those, you don't have to make it visible. You can uncheck the ones that you don't want to be able to see that field. But for those users that you do want to be able to view, regardless of whether they're a marketing user or not, you do need to enable these hierarchy fields. Otherwise, they will not be present in the page layouts. So now that we've gotten that housekeeping out of the way, I want to show you how to create a campaign. So from the home page on Salesforce, one of the things that you'll see is that the campaign is part of the marketing app. So in the top right corner, you probably have it defaulting to the HandsOn Connect app, since that is probably the main tool that you're using. If so, you can access campaigns by either clicking on the plus sign and going to the to see all tabs and clicking on campaigns, or you can go to the marketing app. So from the marketing app, I'm going to click on the campaigns tab. As you see here, this is very similar to other tabs in Salesforce where you have your recent campaigns and your ability to have views. So I was working on my days of service campaign, and I see that within my campaign hierarchy, I have several days of service already listed in there, but there's one that still hasn't been added yet. So I want to go ahead and create a new campaign for my instance. So I'm going to click on campaign, and I'm going to click on new. I'm going to give this campaign a name. So this is going to be for our Family Volunteer Day 2017. This is an active campaign because we are going to do that event this year. And the focus of this type is that it's going to be an email. This campaign, the members of the campaign are folks that I'm going to be soliciting to participate and sign up and make aware of this event. The parent campaign is where I add the hierarchy. So I can search and I can find my Days of Service 2017 and associated with that campaign. As I said, a good administrator always puts a description. And so this is email campaign. And they used proper spelling. All right. We know that this campaign is planned because we haven't started it yet, so we don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, but we know that we want to have it in there. We also know that Family Volunteer Day takes place in November, and so our marketing efforts are going to start November 1st and continue through that Saturday the 18th, which is when Family Volunteer Day takes place. If I wanted to, I could, if this was a fundraising campaign, I can enter what my expected revenue is. And if I wanted to, I can also track my costs. So if my cost for promoting to this group was going to be $500, I can add that in there just as a bench holder, and then I can mark to see what my actual cost was for this campaign. Number sent will be populated based on the number of campaign members I send to, but then I can also go ahead and predict what my response is going to be if I want, so that I can see how effective what my campaign was. So for this campaign, I feel that 55% of the folks that I solicit will participate in the event. So now I can look at my Days of Service 2017, and now I have my 4 campaigns associated with it. So since Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service is just around the corner, we're going to take a deeper dive into that campaign and talk about what the information is. So right now, I have a variety of different folks that I want to solicit and recruit. We could see from my campaign hierarchy that I actually have 2 sub-campaigns under this. I have returning volunteers. So these would be volunteers that participated in the 2016 MLK Day. And then I have students. So this may be students that I'm recruiting to participate, because we know that a lot of high school, college, and university students are very involved in Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. So I can see how many contacts have been added. If this was a fundraising campaign, I could see how many donations are in place, and I could then see the expected responses and other information. Some of this is related to email, some of this is related to donation, and you can use page layouts and record types if you wish to make that a little bit more finite. So now I'm going to show you how to add a campaign member. So here I am with my students campaign. I've added a description that shows not only that these are students, but these are folks that have served or joined since September 26th. So we want to capture students that joined or have participated since this academic school year started. So I'm going to click on Manage Members and click Search. Now, in Salesforce, you have leads and contacts. For most nonprofits, you're dealing just with contacts. And you can use existing views, so any views that I already have as part of my contacts object, I can use those. But in this case, I'm going to use just a view of where the organization name contains school. I'm going to click Go, and I can see that there are a number of students or contacts that have participated, that are in my system, that are associated with schools. So I can check all those individuals and add them to the status of sent, with the status of sent showing that I will be sending information to these individuals. So now I have 7 existing campaign members, and if I needed to, I could remove the status, or if I've heard from Jean Gray, I can update her status to responded, showing that she's actually already contacted me to participate in the school. So now if I go back to MLK Day 2017, I can now see that I have 7 contacts associated with this individual. So other ways that I can add individuals, and this is how I added the folks that were part of the returning, is through reports. So I can go and run a report. So in this case, I looked at volunteers that were active in 2016, and I filtered a contact report so that these are folks that have an email address and they have a connection that has status of attended. I would also want to configure this to also show, since I want this to be just 2017, I could add another status field here that shows start date and time. Greater than 1/1/2016. So now I can run this report, and there's this add to campaign button. So when I click on it, it walks me through and it asks me which campaign am I adding them to. So since I've already added them to my MLK campaign, I'm going to go ahead and add them to my general 2017 campaign. I'm going to mark them as sent. And then if they're an existing member of that campaign, do we want to override? And we do not. So if they've already been marked as responded, we don't want to override that. So I can click add to campaign, and now I am done. And if I needed to, I can add the same list to another campaign if this group is appropriate for multiple users. The last place I want to show you how to manage campaigns is within HandsOn Connect itself. As I mentioned, one of the unique features that HandsOn Connect has available is the ability to assign volunteers from a specific opportunity. So here I am within the Alcatraz docent opportunity. I can go to the occurrence record, and from the occurrence record, there's an add to campaign button. This is a special feature available to HandsOn Connect customers, and it can be enabled through your system. When I click add to campaign, it shows me all the volunteers that have signed up for this project. I can look and see, show me just the confirmed. I can look to see only folks that are part of a team and check those boxes. However I wish, I'm able to select these individuals, and when I scroll down, I can, just like with reports, I can search and create a campaign to assign them to. So I'm going to assign them to my general Martin Luther King campaign. And I can click add to campaign. One of the great things about campaigns is that, as you can see, contacts were successfully added. One of the great things is if I'm adding multiple users from across different from different reports and such to the same campaign, Salesforce does dedupe it so that a contact is only added once to each campaign. So this helps you maintain clean lists. So that shows you how to create and manage your campaigns. You can see how many folks are associated. We can now look at the 2017 campaign, and in the hierarchy we see that under the days of service we have 154 contacts that are associated with it, for a total of 232 contacts that are part of the entire 2017 campaign. And as we start sending out emails or sending out donations and receiving those donations back, this information will automatically update so that you can keep track and see how effective each of your campaigns and sub-campaigns are at accomplishing their objectives. So we hope that you have enjoyed this presentation on campaigns. I seem to have lost my There we go. Next week, we will be focusing on how to use campaigns for the mass email tools. So we showed you today how to set up your campaign for our email. Next week, Libby will be showing you how to use that campaign and integrate it with your mass email tools such as Constant Contact or MailChimp to send out those marketing communications. Follow the next week with a presentation by Melissa on how to use the campaigns for your donor management to be able to record donations and track those donations to specific campaigns so you can see how effective they are towards reaching your annual budgets. Of course, we will have this presentation, as we have other presentations, on our website at handsonconnect.org, where you can review past videos on such as reports, maybe even advanced reporting to look at some of those joined. And then Salesforce Trailhead has a number of things, resources available for you as well. We look forward to seeing you at our next Hands-On Connect University session and wish you a great 2017. Thanks for your attendance today.